Hey everybody, Marcia here. I am back with another scrapbook layout that I created with the August Main kit from My Creative Scrapbook. This kit featured the Safe Travels collection from Simple Stories. I'm also using a sketch from Laura Whitaker that you can see at the beginning of the video. This sketch has lots of layers of pattern paper, so one of the first things I did was go through the pattern papers to find coordinating colors that I liked that went along with my photos. Since my photos are from a recent trip to Estes Park, where we did the aerial tram ride there, I wanted to pull in some red pattern paper that would go along with the aerial tram car in the photo. So here I have a red, a light blue, a plaid, and then the background is just plain white cardstock, and that's mounted on top of the blue flowered pattern paper. Once I'm happy with the arrangement of my pattern paper layers here, I added the two outside photos. And then the middle photo I wanted to pop up a little bit to give it more emphasis. This is the photo of myself and my husband and my daughter inside one of the tram cars. So you can see I did try to conserve some of the pattern paper on that background blue flowered pattern paper by cutting out the inside. That way I can use it on a different layout, so I don't feel like I'm wasting too much of it. This kit also came with one of the Vicki Boutin Color Steady stencils, and this was real fun to play with. I decided to do something very simple and just get some Distress Oxide inks and just blend two different blues. I wanted the blue to be more like the sky from the aerial tram, so we were up in the air, so I thought blue would be appropriate. Plus there's lots of blues in the pattern paper. So I picked out Speckled Egg and Weathered Wood. Very light blues. Just used a dauber and blended the two colors together. I really love how that looks, and it's really quick and simple to do. So once I have that down, I'm going to go ahead and add my layers of pattern paper and photos over the top of that. And then we're ready to start thinking about embellishing. But first, I wanted to add some journal tags along the top. This allows me to hide some journaling behind my photos if I wanted. And one of the pattern papers that I'm using here was just a sheet of 12 by 12 paper full of these tags. So I cut a strip off and picked out some of the colors I thought that would go nice with these colors I have in my pattern papers. But before I do that, I want to distress the edges of my pattern paper, and I'm just doing this with my fingers. So if you just bend the edges, and sometimes I tear the edges and bend them up so that the whole layout isn't flat, it gives it more dimension. I just love that distressed look. There's also torn pattern papers in here from even before when I started layering, which is very trendy right now too, to tear your pattern paper rather than cut it straight. I'm using one of the chipboard titles from the chipboard sticker sheet. It's Explore. I thought that was very appropriate since we were exploring Estes Park and we went up to the mountain that overlooks the town, where we were able to see Estes Park from a distance. Estes Park is where Stephen King wrote The Shining. The hotel there, it's called the Stanley, inspired him to write that novel. And we've stayed at the Stanley before. It's a very fun hotel to stay at. The channel that comes up when you turn the TV on is playing The Shining. So it's really fun place to go to stay if you're in Estes Park. So we can see the hotel from the top of the mountain at the overlook. There's a little cafe up there where you can get some beverages before you go back in line to take the tram back down the mountain. So it's just a fun thing to do if you got a couple hours to waste while you're waiting to get into the Rocky Mountain National Park, which is what we were doing. I pulled out the Scenic Route foam sticker from that sticker sheet and placed it underneath my Explore title. And I'm going through the die cuts and the chipboard stickers to see what else I might be able to use on here. I pulled out some of the flowers, wanted something to coordinate with that floral pattern background that I have on the very outside. So other things I pulled out are the binoculars, a travel guide. I thought those are very appropriate for this travel layout in particular. And then there's this one die cut ephemera piece that says adventure. So I'm just going to staple it on underneath my tram car. So here I decided I was going to put the binoculars underneath my Explorer title. And I have another sun here that I'm moving around. So I put the travel guide and the binoculars under the Explorer title. Just moving various things around, trying to create a visual triangle here with the embellishments. So you can see I have a cluster here by my title. I have another cluster in the upper left, and then another in the upper right. So this is basically my layout. I love how this turned out, and I am so glad that My Creative Scrapbook had a travel collection for their main kit. Be sure to check out their other kits as well. They are really beautiful kits. They really do have something for every type of scrapbooker that you are. Thanks so much for stopping by. Bye-bye now.